Bing. Tomb Raider is directed by Wooooooo, I think that's his name, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, and it stars Alicia Vikander as the titular Tomb Raider Lara Croft. Now this is a reboot of the original films made by Angelina Jolie and co back in the day, and this is based on the Square Enix version of games, not the PlayStation ones like they were in Angelina's day. This is the story of Lara, of course, yet again. This time she's going to look for her father, but on her way to find him on this mysterious island, she then discovers on this island there is a curse that could destroy the entire world, and of course she has to try and stop it. Now when the original movie came out, I was of course a young lad and Angelina Jolie in short shorts. Now that in itself was an adventure. And yeah, it's a bad movie, of course it is. It's a video game movie, we know how they all go by now. But it's still a good movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Daniel Craig doesn't take his American accent too seriously. But yeah, this is maybe a reboot nobody asked for, but I thought, hey, I enjoyed the others, let's give it a go. The first thing we all want to know, of course, is Vikander better than Jolie? In my opinion, yes, I really do think Vikander really works as Lara Croft. Not to mention she got buff as fuck for this movie. Square Enix had a huge influence in this movie, and you can really tell because she looks pretty similar. The set pieces look extremely similar. Just it's much more of a tribute to the game than Angelina Jolie's version. I really do think having their fingers in that pie really helped the movie as much as it possibly could. Now when it comes to the story in this movie, I'm going to compare it to the other. In the other one, of course, Lara's father is dead. In this one, you kind of think he is, but the father-daughter relationship in this movie, I think, is a lot deeper than in the original ones. It's not revolutionary, is what I'm trying to get out of my head here. It's called Tomb Raider. You're not going to get much more than, personally, I think, an Indiana Jones watered down thing, just with obviously a former 90s sex symbol. Let's be honest, that she was in the 90s. I didn't sit there and have any real fear for her or any sort of surprise, because you know nothing's ever going to happen to her. It's not going to win any Oscars or anything. It's just not going to do any of that, for at least for its storytelling. It's just not, it's not sort of blah. The movie also seems extremely bored of its own story at times. At the very start of the movie, they really have tried to differentiate themselves from the Angelina Jolie ones. Rather than being the rich Angelina that lives in Croft Manor, this one, she's kind of cool. She's living in London. She's working for a food company. She doesn't want, she even says, I'm not that kind of Croft. So they've really tried to bring her up to kind of this kind of thing. But at the same time, they do that so strange, it doesn't even match the story. Her on a bicycle pretending to be in this sort of fox hunting race with everyone, her doing this boxing thing that never comes up again, none of these things do. Everything with her before she gets into the tombs and stuff is just, for me, filler, because the last 45 minutes of this movie really had me gripped at times and was actually what we were looking for the entire time. It wants to get to that so quickly that the first half of it is just sort of going, yeah, well, Lara's not that one anymore, she's now this one, so you can watch that happen, you know what's going to happen, but here you go, here's my interpretation of it. And it's just like lazy. This movie is also hugely reliant on CGI, and the fact that Alicia Vikander, the gorgeous Alicia Vikander, falls off huge things, survives a plane crash on a waterfall, if you've seen the trailer, and yet not a hair is out of place. Seems very underacted. Even the game has awesomely hilarious death scenes in it. So I felt no sense of danger. There was a part where she fell down a cliff and she just came out and had a little tiny stab wound in her belly, and that was it. And I literally sat there just thinking, come on, Really? Any normal person would have died. When it comes to that side of things, I could really tell a lot of the time the movie felt like cutscenes within a game. It didn't feel to me at these points, because of all the unimaginary things that were happening to this woman that's supposed to be more grounded than the other ones, bearing in mind. It just took me out of it. It felt like a video game and it just shouldn't. Look, guys, in a world in which Donald Trump is president and exists and the Emoji Movie is a thing, this is the only semi-decent video game adaptation ever, and that's not saying much. We have things like Mortal Kombat and unfortunately the other two Tomb Raider films, so yeah, that's not really giving it much praise, but it is a thing. Guys, with all of this being said, I'm going to give Tomb Raider a 2.5 out of 5. Oh yeah, and before we end this, much like the movie, there is a stupid bit at the end where she goes into a pawn shop, like a cash converters here in the UK, and Nick Frost is the guy who owns it and has guns out the fucking back, and he ends up selling her 2 guns, and she says, "I'll take them." And it's trying to be like a sequel or a nod to the games. Fuck yeah. So there you have it, guys. There is my take on Tomb Raider. Now if you have seen the movie, then please let me know in the comments down below. Now before you beautiful creatures go, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, press the old subscribe button. You'll know the drill. Ginge out.